Hours, more than 1,000 new cases were reported in West Virginia, bringing the total number of active cases to more than 8,700. More than 4,400 cases were caused by the Delta variant, and in Ohio, 4,000 cases were reported yesterday, along with 275 hospitalizations and 46 ICU admissions. So far, 51% of the state is fully vaccinated. Let's look across the nation now. Federal regulators have now signed off on the use of booster shots for all 3 COVID vaccines currently used in the U.S. Next up, they'll discuss authorizing the vaccines for kids ages 5 to 11. Deborah Alfarone has more details from the White House.
The CDC signed off on booster shots for the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines, making millions more Americans now eligible for increased protections.
We now have a plan for boosters for all 3 of our COVID-19 vaccines.
Johnson & Johnson recipients 18 and older can get a second dose 2 months after their first shot. Moderna users who were fully vaccinated 6 months ago can also get a booster if they're 65 and older or at high risk of infection. And the CDC has now signed off on the mixing and matching of the vaccines.
Some people may prefer to get the vaccine that they got initially and did really well with. Others now may prefer to get another vaccine, and the CDC now allows for that mix and match option.
FDA regulators will begin discussions next week about authorizing the Pfizer vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11. President Biden says he expects that approval to come within weeks, not months.
We have recent data that demonstrates that children with the Delta variant are just as likely to get sick or get infected with Delta.
Pfizer announced this morning that its COVID-19 vaccine is nearly 91% effective at preventing infections in school children. The White House says combating vaccine hesitancy is a key part of their vaccination plan for children.
We have seen over time comfort with vaccines with more and more rollout. We saw that with adults. We anticipate we will see that increased uptake with children as well.
A recent poll shows roughly 1/3 of parents say they will definitely vaccinate their children. About 1/3 want to wait and see, with another 1/3 resisting it altogether.
An independent FDA advisory committee is scheduled to begin discussing vaccinations for kids ages 5 to 11 next Tuesday. The CDC is scheduled to take it up the week after that. That puts the Pfizer vaccine on track for approval sometime in early November. Let's look in Belmont County now. Residents were given the opportunity to take advantage of free legal services. That's because the Justice Bus made a stop in St. Clairsville yesterday. It's a mobile legal aid office that travels the Buckeye State, offering pro bono legal services to rural communities. The bus features 2 offices with a Wi-Fi hotspot, computers, and a printer. Their goal is to help people with civil legal issues, such as housing, eviction, foreclosure, and family law.
So because there's so much legal need, we're slowly trying to chip away at what's out there and to help in any way we can.
The visit was intended to be an informal session to reach out to those who may be interested. It was also used to determine the legal needs of the local community. All right, let's get to some good news this afternoon. The Belmont County Democratic Party held their annual dinner last night at Undo's St. Clairsville. It was held to honor the work of former Representative Jack Serra and Ohio legislature. It was dedicated to 3 area Democrats that passed away within just weeks of one another. Belmont County Auditor Roger P. Conroy died on June 18th. William F. Schubert, the former director of the Belmont County Board of Elections, passed away on June 24th. And Dr. John Maddox, the co-founder of the Underground Railroad Museum, died on July 17th. Well-known environmental activist Aaron Brockovich served as a judge for Wheeling's Water Pollution Control Division's logo contest. The contest asked Ohio County youth to get creative and assist with a design that will ultimately be featured on the faculty's new signage. Personnel served as judges for the first round of the contest, narrowing down the entries to 25. Local celebrity judges, Wheeling Councilwoman Rosemary Ketchum, WPCD staffer Amanda Kearns, and our very own DK Wright selected the top 10 that will be forwarded to Brockovich, who will select a winner. Hey, don't go anywhere because still to come this noon, Scott has a full look at your weekend forecast. What you need to know after the break.
304-214-1600. Call the Watchdog with your thoughts. We'll be right back to Local Talk. Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your football Friday. Mostly cloudy with occasional showers. The daytime high near 57. Mostly cloudy with a few showers remaining, with an overnight low of 46. Clouds and sunshine mixing for your Saturday, a cool day with a high near 57. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of their skin. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Vote for me and I'll set you free. Rap on, brother, rap on. Well, the only person talking about love, now, brother, is the preacher. And it seems nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggravation, humiliation, obligation to our nation.
Maybe that wasn't a good song to start this off. Because as I look at my playlist, I sound like a disc jockey, don't I? Been there, done that too. Well, why did I do this? All these guests. Because I can, because I only keep them on a few minutes. You know, some of the coaches, what are you going to talk about in 20 minutes? So we're going to go right to Bel Air, Ohio. Guest number 1. Hopefully I won't have any turnovers, Coach Mark. Mark Spicarelli, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing today, Bill?
I'll tell you in about 5 minutes past the hour of 3.
Okay.
That's when I'm done.
You're finished.
That's when I'm done. You'll be watching film, right? Because you're playing tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, actually, we'll probably be practicing right at that time.
All right. It wasn't so bad where I live in Washington, PA. Some parts of Pittsburgh had severe weather storms. I don't know what they had here. I guess some heavy rains or whatever. Is your field in good shape and everything?
Yes, it is. Real good shape. We were pretty lucky like all year. We never really had any games on it if it did rain. And, yeah, it's in really good shape.
Yeah, okay. All right. Tell us about your opponent, Martins Ferry, while I have you on for a few minutes, because I know all about Bel Air, thanks to you. Tell me a little bit about Martins Ferry and what you expect from the visitors tomorrow.
I mean, I know the record that they have this year, being 1-8, is not what they expected, but they've had some ups and downs, and probably some injuries. But they have a great nucleus of offensive linemen, some guys that have been playing there 2 or 3 years. That's kind of like their strength. They do have a freshman quarterback. He's had, some troubles on and off this year, but, he's a really good runner. We got to be able to tackle him. in space if he gets loose. They've had some different fullbacks and tailbacks playing. We got to be able to tackle whoever they put back there, and they've got two pretty good receivers that they like to get the ball to. And they basically, on defense, kind of play like a 4-2-5 type of defense, and they're very hard-nosed, physical Martins Ferry kids. We.
Oh yeah. They make them tough there. They make them tough. Yeah. And your kids may look at the record and say, "Oh yeah, this might be cool," but as a coach, how do you keep their temperament and their emotional high from not getting too high where they overlook a team that can beat them?
That's what we've been preaching to them all week. Again, it doesn't matter, what the records are for each one of these teams. I told them, both teams are going in at a 0-0 record because they both want to win this game badly, because of all the bragging rights. And it's great for both communities, too, whoever's able to come out on top.
Do you play for anything? A trophy? Pottery? There's all kinds of rivalries, especially in college football. Is there something that the winner would take other than the fact that we beat our rivals?
Yeah, we play for called the Sparky Trophy. Martins Ferry, I think, has had it now maybe the last 4 or 5 years. They've had it in their hands, and we got to try to play really well, and hopefully we can bring it back home to Bel Air.
What is a Sparky Trophy? I mean, what is it?
It's the trophy that has acronyms named for sportsmanship, performance, achievement.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah,
so we have some names for it. So it's a great tradition that Bel Air and Martins Ferry's had over the years.
And you haven't won it, in 3 years, 4 years?
I think about 4 or 5, yeah, I do believe so.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, there's always a first time after 4 or 5 years, right? And you want to be the coach to do it this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, I know one thing, knowing how they play sports in Martins Ferry, they go all out. It's going to be a physical game, and it's going to be like last man standing. Sounds like Custer's Last Stand, doesn't it? Hey, Mark, congratulations. We're carrying your game tomorrow, by the way, so
good,
have
that's
fun.
awesome.
Have fun, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me on your show. Appreciate it.
All right. And tonight we're carrying Beaver Local at Wheeling Central. Coach, did I forget Coach Young? Oh, I better not do that. Yeah, he's here. He's going to be on. And Morgantown at John Marshall. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go from Bel Air, Ohio, to the beautiful campus of West Liberty University, where the neighborhood rivalry will continue tomorrow afternoon. It's not Pitt, West Virginia. It's not Michigan and Ohio State. It's a good one in Division II. It's called Wheeling U and West Liberty. We'll be back with Coach Wildlife, the Hilltoppers, right after this.
Hey, it's Howard Monroe. Have yourself a great weekend this weekend. Do something fun and enjoyable for yourself. And if you want to follow what I'm thinking on the weekend, you can always check out my Facebook page or my Twitter page. I sometimes pop up with little polls or occasionally some thoughts of my own there. Give you kind of a clue of what we'll talk about when we get together Monday morning. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning, 7 o'clock, the Watchdog Morning Show, right here.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
Hi, it's Tony Caridi, host of the CityNet Statewide Sports Line right here on Metro News. Join the Senator, Brad Howe, Coach Greg Hunter, and myself as we discuss the day's biggest sports stories, talking with coaches, former players, and sports writers from all over the state and across the nation, bringing you the latest from the high schools, colleges, and the pro game. So don't miss the CityNet Statewide Sports Line weeknights at 6:06 here on the Metro News Radio Network and streaming live at WVMetronews.com.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
You really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing.
Ray Davis and his brother had a popular group in the 60s called the Kinks. You really got me. Let me ask the coach at Hilltopper Land. Coach Wildeye, you remember the Kinks?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that means I'm young. Okay. You remember You Really Got Me? Well, they also
Yes,
had
I
a couple
did.
of. All right, Coach. I know I'm a lot older than you, but I'm glad you remembered that because if you said, who are they? I would have said, okay, I'm going to have to move up to the 70s and 80s. I don't know what your theme song is when you practice and everything, but I know one thing. All you have to mention to your kids, Wheeling You. And I think this is great for you because this is your shortest road trip of the year, right?
Yeah, it's kind of different. We'll be in Wheeling for 4 straight weeks. I mean, in the Ohio Valley, meaning we played at home last week. We played down the hill this week, and then we got 2 home games in a row. So that's kind of unusual for us to not venture far off every other week.
I know you'd like to be unbeaten or have 1 loss or 2 losses. You're 4-3. You got to be happy with the output of your team in recent weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the loss a couple weeks ago hurt. Right? We should be sitting in conference 4-1, or with only 1 loss, and we're not because we didn't take care of business on a road trip. But our goal at West Liberty is to be 1-0 every week, and our kids have bought into that, and that's how they break down the team is 1-0, and that's all we worry about is who we play this week.
How about that thriller against Fairmont State? Come from behind and you win 52-31. You have any hair left on your head?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm probably the calmest one out there because if I'm not calm, then they won't be calm. And I feel we play our best is when we're relaxed and the kids aren't overly on edge, especially offensively. A lot of times when they're sky high and we got to find that happy medium for them on the offensive side. And our defense, contrastly, they play better when they're high spirited in that way.
All right, I'm going to steal a line from Chuck Noll because I'm old enough to remember interviewing the classic Hall of Famer. Chuck always used to say about rivalry games with, like Cleveland and Baltimore at that time. At that time, they were called the Baltimore Colts. It's a rivalry game, so you can throw out the record books. That's a coach's line, a coach's cliche, isn't it?
Yes, I've used that a number of times, and especially now that we do have a true rival. Before, our rival kind of changed in football, but we've watched it in other sports. Between West Liberty and Wheeling, is that it didn't matter what the records are. Sometimes West Liberty would come in with no losses and lose, and vice versa. Yeah. And so the records don't matter. It's who shows up, who's going to get the breaks, and who stay with it for the entire game.
All right. When you watch film of the Hilltoppers, what impresses you about we'll start with their offense.
You mean the Cardinals?
The Cardinals, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble now. Yeah, the Cardinals.
Offensively, they're unbelievably skilled, meaning they have big, physical, fast wide receivers. Their running back is one of the best in their conference, and they played a number of quarterbacks. But one thing that you can tell with them, they play within the system, and they don't change too much other than when they bring in number 12, and he's more of a running quarterback. But Norris and I think the other kid's Jackson, they can play within the same system and they don't change too much. But the big thing is they're big and physical outside.
Yeah, the running back, one of the best in the conference, is his name Ali?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've watched him a couple of times. He's very good. Sometimes he looks like a train, So, okay, let's talk about their defense. Did you talk about their give us a minute or two what you've seen or liked on their defense.
Well, they're getting great play on their back half, and I think they've been able to get stalemates and work harder and bring pressure up front with their front half. But big thing is that they move around. They do a lot of different things. They try to make your offensive linemen think by lining up in different fronts, running different stunts, and so we're going to have to be patient offensively. And it's like I said, they might get us a couple of times by formation or by different things, but we just need to stay. We're in this for the long haul. One play is not going to win or lose you a game, and let's continue to play. But us identifying the fronts and being able to change the play or the blocking scheme is going to be huge because they line up in so many different fronts.
Okay, let's talk about a key player on your offense and defense. A key player on your offense, he was the MEC Offensive Player of the Week, only a freshman, Jamie Diven.
Yeah, Jamie, because of the COVID year and he redshirted 1 year, this is his true first year playing. But, he came into us with all the credentials and from Western PA, and he hasn't disappointed us. And he makes great decisions. He's able to extend plays with his feet and find people downfield. He's not looking to run when he extends the plays. He's looking for people that are open, but he can run the football.
Okay, defense, I think I could have picked a couple players, but how about this defensive end? Trevor Hoosier, 10 tackles, 6 tackles for loss. He blocked a punt and forced a safety. For a player, that's pretty good for one game.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate. Trevor is coming off of 2 ACL surgeries where he hasn't, we knew he could be a special player if he could stay healthy, and he's been able to stay healthy, and he does all of our long snapping. That's probably the most important thing as a coach. So you don't have to worry about the long snapping, hopefully, but he plays so hard and he's so relentless, and he's been one of the themes for our team as well as our whole defensive line. Trevor will tell you a lot of his success is because the other 3 guys that are on the down front, if you double Trevor, the other 3 can do the same thing. So we've been getting a lot of single blocks and not a lot of chips by the back, and hopefully we can continue to play with that energy up front.
All right. I don't know where I read it, but I guess you're a game out of a tie for first place in the ME East, right? Standings, MEC.
Yeah.
Is that good? You're what, 4-1 in a conference?
No, we're 4-2.
4-2. Okay.
Yeah.
So a win, do you still have to have other people to do things in order for you to capture first place?
Yeah, we need some help. Obviously there's 3 teams sitting at 1 loss, and I think they've all played each other already.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, we need some help if we want to jump in there. But like I said, we're concerned about this week and this week only. And, at the end of the year, we'll see where the chips fall. But we have to take care of our own business in order to get help from somebody else.
Well, you're going to get help from the 13th man or the 12th man, whatever they called it at Texas A&M. You're going to have almost the whole neighborhood or the whole town of Liberty at the game, because that's a small drive.
Yeah, you would hope. I haven't looked to see what times other games. Like I said, I try to just concern myself with what I can control, and that's our team. And hopefully we'll come out and play well. But it's such a great thing for the community. I think I said in the paper, you so many times you've gone to the basketball games and it's a full house, and you fully expect that in football also.
All right. Well, give me one key to a win, and I don't want to hear the word we can't turn the ball over, we can't make mistakes. Other than those cliches from coaches, what's the big key to win on the road?
Well, I'm sorry, but...
Here we go. I knew it. Go ahead.
The biggest key for us, if you look at our games when we've struggled, has been when we've turned the ball over. But the biggest key is we're going to have to create turnovers, and we're going to have to make special teams plays. That's big because they have some big time returners in their special teams game, and they got a good kicker, as do we. So that could be the pivotal thing in the game is special teams play.
All right. Well, have fun, Coach. I hope the weather is great. It doesn't matter. It's a good rivalry, and it's too bad we didn't have this for a number of years. I really love the rivalry in basketball. I used to compare it to Pitt-Georgetown. This is Pitt-Georgetown Division II in basketball. And, this rivalry now, I hope it continues for a long, long time because it's good for the neighborhood. All right?
Correct. And in the other sports, even volleyball, they had a volleyball game here, I think it was last week, and our place was full.
Yeah, even wrestling. Although Wheeling lost wrestling for a year, they've come back, and things have been looking good for West Liberty in wrestling, too. So, it's great that we have this rivalry in different sports because, the schools are only, 7 miles apart?
Yeah.
Give or take some deer, bears, squirrels, possums, skunks.
7 miles as the bird flies, I guess is what they say.
Coach, have fun, and we'll talk to you soon. Good luck.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Oh, yeah. Should be cool. So, yeah, I wish I was there. But you know what? The Pitt Panthers own me tomorrow because of Clemson, national televised game, extra hours, overtime. So, yeah, but I'll be listening or following it on my cell phone. So, didn't have that in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s, or 90s. Matter of fact, I'm getting used to using my cell phone. Matter of fact, I may not even read newspapers anymore. I don't think about that. But that's tomorrow at noon. Okay, 2 quality teams. West Liberty has the better record, And I hate to say it, it's broadcaster's cliche. You can throw the records out the window because it's a good rivalry football. Wheeling hosting West Liberty. Doesn't get any better than that in Division II in this area. We'll be right back, and we're going to take a break. Coming up, we have Coach Young, Wheeling Central. He's got to win at least one of the next two to get into the postseason. And we'll pick his brain coming up right after the break. We are the Watchdog Football Friday, and we are the voice of the Ohio Valley.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Carrie Hudasek. A woman is dead following a head-on crash in Kanawha County this morning. Deputies say 61-year-old Barbara Facemeyer of Sissonville died after the sedan she was driving crossed the center line of U.S. Route 119 and struck a pickup truck head-on. It happened near Big Chimney just before 4:30. The truck driver was not injured. A dog in Facemeyer's car also died in the wreck. Governor Jim Justice plans today to address a request made by Maryland lawmakers for 3 of their western counties to join West Virginia. That includes Maryland's Allegheny, Garrett, and Washington counties. Mineral County Delegate Gary Howell says it would only make sense.
Those 3 western counties in Maryland are more like West Virginia than they are the remainder of Maryland. They fit very well in with us.
A special announcement is set for this hour. A newly proposed insurance plan from the State Public Employees Insurance Agency, or PEIA, carries with it no premium increases for the coming year, but West Virginia Education Association President Dale Lee says that could change in the future, and that's concerning.
Now, there's no premium increase, no changes in the plan for next fiscal year. However, we have grave concerns for the years after that.
The proposed plan would include a 5% premium increase for non-state employees. Public hearings on the plan are set for next month. You can read more at wvmetronews.com. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Tomorrow is National Drug Take-Back Day. That means residents will have the opportunity to turn in unused or expired prescription drugs at sites across the state, including Charleston. Lieutenant David Payne with Charleston Police says it's a safe and secure way to get rid of those medications.
Any unused prescription drugs that they're not using anymore or that's expired, they can just drop them off. They don't need to fill out anything. Just drop them in the box, and we'll just take it from there.
Collections will take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Attorney Tom McIntyre.
Life. It may knock you down, but you don't have to stay that way. I'm Tom McIntyre. I'm a bankruptcy attorney, and I'm here to help you. Give us a call, and we'll send you a copy of my free book, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. It's an interesting read, and it'll explain bankruptcy to you like no other book does. Give us a call. We're here to help.
Call Thomas E. McIntyre and Associates at 304-232-8600. Allow us to help put you back on the road to financial success.
$3.5 trillion. That's the cost of the reckless spending plan President Biden and the Washington extremists are rushing through Congress. Their socialist plan will bankrupt America and force West Virginia taxpayers to foot the bill for abortions, even painful late-term abortions. Thankfully, Senator Joe Manchin is standing strong, opposing this reckless spending spree and taxpayer-funded abortions. But Senator Manchin is under enormous pressure from Washington liberals to cave to their extreme agenda. Biden and Pelosi are intent on forcing West Virginians to pay for abortion on demand, even up to the moment of birth when babies can feel excruciating pain. West Virginians need to thank Manchin for standing strong. Call Senator Joe Manchin at 202-224-3954. Thank Manchin for opposing Biden and the socialists in Congress. Tell him to stand strong against their plan to bankrupt America and force West Virginians to pay for abortions. Paid for by Susan B. Anthony List.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for Statewide Talk Line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Sleep all day, out all night. I know where you're going. I don't think that's acting right. You don't think it's showing. I'm jumping up, falling down. Don't misunderstand me. You don't think I don't know your plan. What you trying to hand me?
A little bit of James Gang on the Variety Show. And let's join the gang up the street at Wheeling Central. And the captain of the gang, sergeant, general, owner. He has all those titles. Let's just call him the head coach. Coach Young, how are you today?
Doing well, Bill, and you?
I woke up this morning. That's always a good sign.
It's better than the alternative.
Yeah, okay. You have a game tonight, Beaver Local at Wheeling Central, and we have the game at WKKX. Is that up on the hill at Wheeling U?
Actually, it's up at West Liberty. We're playing there tonight, 7:30 kickoff.
Well, what the heck's going on here? Feels like trading cards. West Liberty's coming to Wheeling U tomorrow.
Well, they have a big, somewhat of a West Liberty weekend homecoming type deal, and because of that, rather than us be on Wheeling University's campus, we're going to be on West Liberty. So, but we want to wish both teams the best of luck because we appreciate all their cooperation and work with us to be able to use their facilities.
Yeah, isn't it nice? It took many years and I guess a lot of conversations. We always got to have conversations. But now Wheeling U and West Liberty, we all know it in other sports like wrestling, volleyball, basketball, it's a great rivalry. Now we have a good rivalry with two schools, 7 miles apart. I think that's good for the area.
I think it's great. Both great educational institutions that provide programs for these kids to participate, and then to have somewhat of a backyard rivalry is a plus for both schools.
Well, let's talk a little bit. I know all about your team, because I got you on the every week. I know all about your offense and defense, who's hurt, who's not hurt. But I got to ask you, because I know nothing about Beaver Local. Tell me a little bit about let's start with their defense.
They play a 4-4 base. They get off the ball well. Defensively, they have about 6 returners on defense from last year's team that was very good. Offensively, they have 8 out of 11 returning. So, they have a veteran squad with a veteran coach, and it should be a real good ball game.
All right. What about their offense?
Their offense, they got 2 nice running backs along with their quarterback. They spread the field. They throw it around real well. They run it well. Veteran line up front. So we gotta make sure of our tackles and read our keys and don't let anybody get behind us.
All right. My consultant when it comes to anything Wheeling Central sports, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, Biff, I'd never had a chance to talk to him because he's been so busy. But correct me if I'm wrong. In the next 2 games, counting this one win and you're in the postseason, or do you have to win both, or do you have to get help from somebody else? Explain it to me because I don't know.
It's all based on the point system of who you play and what their record is. And right now we're sitting in a hot spot. We gotta make use of every win, make use of every point we can get. And the outcome is the outcome. I don't know if we're going to get in. I don't know if we're not going to get in. We got to go play football, and what the outcome is, we'll take in front of us and do the best we can.
Good week of practice for the kids?
pretty good week. We got a couple kids down with some sinus infections that's going around somewhat, but everybody's doing well. No colds and changing in the weather with the allergies acting up, but overall we're in good shape. We came out of the game last week with no points, but no injuries, which was more important in terms of getting ready for this week.
How do you keep the attitude or the tempo or the emotion high for this team that has struggled at times?
Well, it's an everyday process. You're dealing with high school kids that want to get better, and we're going to coach them up to get better. I share with my coaches all the time, if you expect the kids to play with passion, you have to coach with it. I'm very fortunate to have a veteran staff that works hard together. Very fortunate to have kids that buy into what we're selling. We stay as positive as we can. There's times you can get caught up in drama, outside distractions, but the key is to get ready for Friday night. We go down every day to practice, to prepare, to go out on Friday nights and perform. So it's a test. It's an evaluation of how well you're practicing as your game. So hopefully we've made some corrections for this week. Hopefully we made enough corrections to go out and play better and get a W from a very good football team.
All right. By the way, if you can't make it to West Liberty University, the game will be played there. If you can't make it there, we have it for you at 7 o'clock on WKKX. So you said you had a couple of people hurt. Were they starters?
It's just a few bumps and bruises.
Okay.
It's kept them maybe out of practice one day, or maybe didn't get as many reps because they were nursing that injury back, whether it's an ankle or a shoulder or whatever. But our kids they're focused on what they got to do, and we played up at West Liberty last year against Williamstown. Had a good showing, played real well. We're hoping the same results tonight.
Coach, I love you, man. You're one of the first coaches that hasn't said upper body, lower body injury, man. You just went to the shoulder and whatever. Thank you for not mentioning upper body and lower body, because it's mentioned in every sport. They even say it in baseball now.
Yeah, well,
you don't want to give the other team anything to think about, right?
Right, they got to guess what part you're talking about then. But it's okay because both teams have kids that go out and play, and that's what we're going to have. Like I say, I'm looking forward to the night, looking forward to the challenge, and hopefully we can get off the ball and play aggressive, play Wheeling Central football.
Okay, I was just going to ask you about a key to a win, but I think you just gave it to me. No turnovers, right? Come up with the big plays. Stop the other team. Okay, it should be very interesting. Once again, folks, Wheeling Central has the home field, but the home field tonight is the beautiful facility at West Liberty University. Coach, thank you. Good luck. Get some points, okay? You always made good points with me. Now make some good points with your players on the playing field. How does that sound?
Sounds good, Bill. Thanks for the coverage. Appreciate KKX and Fitzsimmons family following us. We're very appreciative of these kids getting this type of recognition. It's good for the program, good for the kids, good for their future.
Hey, it's good to have guys like you and the rest of the coaches that we have on the air every week, because without them, we can't do this show and expect good things out of it, because we need good coaches, all right?
We understand, buddy.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you, West Liberty.
Thanks, Bill. Take care. God bless.
All right. I was getting confused there. I thought for sure they were going to play Wheeling U, because Wheeling U is playing tomorrow. But tomorrow they're playing West Liberty, and Wheeling Central is playing at West Liberty tonight. I get confused easily. Yeah, all right. Let's take a break, Lola, and we'll do a little sports reporting. What's happening with the Cleveland Browns? I didn't watch the game. I watched some of the clips today. Casey Keenum looked pretty good, The defense looked pretty good. I guess Myles Garrett had a long talk after Wednesday's practice, trying to straighten out some head cases on that team. And believe me, they have a few, and he's one of them. And we'll also talk about what he has in his front yard, which kind of disturbed me just a little bit. I'll ask Lola about that. All right, that's all coming up in the next segment of the Variety Show. And we are the Watchdog, your only voice in the Ohio Valley.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kercheval inviting you to join me weekdays, 10 till noon for a statewide talk line. We talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. We talk with top political figures, sports personalities, and sometimes just us folks talking, all offering our opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. I buy properties as is. Make no repairs. Take what you want and leave the rest behind. We make selling easy. I buy vacant properties, pre-foreclosures, and inherited homes. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorces, death in the family, back taxes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at doanford.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-TALK.
Little ditty about Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie gonna be a football star. Diane's debutante backseat of Jackie's car. Sucking on chili dog outside the taste freeze. Diane sitting on Jackie's lap, got his hands between her knees. Jackie say, hey Diane, let's run off behind the shady trees. Dribble off those Bobby Brooks, let me do what I please.
And we're back. Saturday is a hockey night for the Nailers and their mother lode called the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins will be hosting Toronto tomorrow. It's another game. Remember, they have eight in a row coming up. They've already played a couple at home. And as far as the Nailers are concerned, they're going to, well, they're not going to help them celebrate, but I hope the players watch Fort Wayne do the banner raising situation after they won the cup. So, yeah, if I'm a player, I want to see those festivities so I can force myself, hey, they can do it, I can do it too. So that's the Nailers at Fort Wayne tomorrow. Matter of fact, I just spoke to DJ Abasella, and he's loading up the bus Gus to get out of town to go to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And the Penguins at home against Toronto. The Penguins are, I got a brain freeze. Hold it. Win, tie, win. 2-0-2. Okay? All right. So Toronto's a pretty good team. Only sometimes you don't know which team shows up because they got a lot of good players. So, all right. Baseball. I want to talk about the Cleveland Browns because I watched clips of that running back, Ernest Johnson. Who in the hell is this guy? Third string running back. Okay? Because Hunt and Chubb, all injured. So they got to go to a backup. And he had 146 yards rushing last night. I tell you, Casey Keenum, all he had to do was hand the ball off, and that kid was just running like crazy. The defense played very well. Maybe when there was a closed-door meeting with Mr. Garrity, okay, with the teams, he probably did some yelling, screaming, maybe threw a chair against the wall, whatever. Didn't suffer an upper body injury, lower body injury. Played very good defense. We'll see how good that defense is on Halloween, okay, when Cleveland will host Pittsburgh. Is Halloween next Saturday, Lola? Sunday? Wow. Halloween in Cleveland. You know, when it's not Halloween, everybody's dressed up, you know, like dogs and all that stuff. The dog pound will be rocking and a-rolling. Good timing, network TV. I think they knew that. Cleveland hosting Pittsburgh next Sunday. That's cool, because good rest for both teams. The Steelers, of course, have a bye week, and the Browns played last night, so they get a couple of extra days to prepare for the Steelers. The Browns improved to 4-3, Denver 3-4. But how about that running back, Ernest Johnson, 146 yards.
Felt great, man, just knowing that everybody believed in me, just coming out here and just sitting the win for the team. That means a lot the most, you know, just coming out here and just fighting hard just to get this victory.
How big is that game next week against the Steelers? The Steelers are 3-3, all right? They'd like to be 4-3. Now, if the Browns win, they could put a little bit of leeway between themselves and the Steelers, although, you know, it might be hard catching up with the Ravens, all their injuries, yet they're 5-1. So a Cleveland win against Pittsburgh would improve their record to 5-3. How about that? Not bad. Great timing, too. Now the Steelers are going to get into their rough part of the schedule, except when they play the Bears and the Lions. All right, the big spotlight, other than Thursday night football, was Los Angeles, California, home of the Dodgers-Braves game. Dodgers lose, and they go home and start playing golf like today. But they won. It was an elimination game. They won big, 11-2. Chris Taylor did something that very few have done in the postseason. Not one, not two, but he hit a total of 3 home runs.
It's definitely a surreal feeling for me. You know, I never thought I was going to hit 3 homers in a game, let alone a postseason game. You know, it just still hasn't really sunk in.
And he also had an at-bat, I think it was in the 8th inning, or maybe the top of the 9th. He had an at-bat. And I'm sure all the announcers, I didn't watch the game. I had to watch the clips on MLB because they show the same show every hour. So 4 o'clock in the morning, it's the same show that they had like at midnight. And it showed him at the plate. Looked like the one swing, he wanted to hit a 4th home run, which has never been done. And he never had that opportunity. Now, you hit 3 home runs in the postseason. Very few have done it. But as a youngster in Boston, watching the Pirates play the Giants in the postseason, I think it was the National League Championship Series, Bob Robertson, he used to hit high foul balls. Bob Prince would say higher than an elevator shaft. He hit 3 home runs against the Giant pitching staff. Bigger names than Bob Robertson? How about these names to do it? Babe Ruth did it. Reggie Jackson did it back in the mid-'70s against the Dodgers. 3 home runs. That's hard to do. Will somebody someday hit 4? I have no idea. But, yeah. Now the Dodgers, they still have to go to Atlanta. They're probably pumped up and everything. But, you know, what you did in one game does not, you know, extend into the next day because baseball's that way. Look at the Red Sox. First couple of those 2 games where they was hitting grand slams and home runs, they were outscoring the Houston Astros first 3 innings like 20 runs to 2. You didn't expect that to last, did you? And all of a sudden, the Red Sox couldn't hit me. You know, they only had 3 hits last game. That's only happened to them once in the postseason, all right? So now they go to Houston. They're comfortable with Houston, and Houston's got to feel real good. That's a real good team. From top to bottom, they're really good. They got a manager that's been around longer than dirt in Dusty Baker. So I expect the Red Sox to win Game 6 tonight, and who knows with Game 7. That'll be on Saturday, if it takes place. And if the Dodgers can win Game 6, that will force a Game 7. Nothing like Game 7s. Just ask the networks who make a lot of money with sponsorships. All right? I want to ask you about this, Lola. Good taste or bad taste? Myles Garrett, sometimes he's out of his mind on the playing field, and away from the playing field, especially when he's not hitting a quarterback with a helmet. We'll never forget that because they show that over and over again. In his front yard, did you hear what he has?
No.
Tombstones with the name of opposing quarterbacks on it. It's like a graveyard of quarterbacks in his tombstone in front lawn. Bad taste? I know it's Halloween.
Nobody can ever say that a football player has good taste. Is it amusing? Yeah, I think it's amusing.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, they're just there for Halloween.
I hope, yeah. I
Well,
hope so, yeah.
You know, I've seen far more offensive things in people's yards for Halloween than that.
Wow. You can't mention them on the air?
No,
Okay.
I don't want to.
You know, I called up to check on you last night.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
And, you know, I do that even though I don't like you, but no. You're a good woman. I'm glad I get to work with you.
Well, I texted you back.
Yeah. I was worried because, first of all, I'm mad. I watch Channel 2, Channel 4, It's all scare tactics, it seems. Hey, for people in Uniontown, you better get in your basements. It's coming. And it didn't come.
It was the same here. And it didn't matter what, you know, didn't matter what channel you put it on. And then if you watch like KDKA or something, I don't even know where these towns are, you know? So, and we did lose power once, which is shocking. Usually we lose it several times. But I pulled all that stuff off the back deck. It's all piled in the kitchen. Nada.
Yeah.
Nada.
Well, I saw Avella. People in Bethany, you know, get away from your windows, go to your basements. Nothing happened. One of my son's girlfriends lives in Bethel Park, and I saw Bethel Park, and I called. I think he was on his way to see her. From Washington to Bethel Park's about a half hour, and I'm, oh man, get off the highway. And he calls me back later. He said, Dad, nothing happened. We got a few rain showers. Okay.
Well, you know, the bad, the one thing you can say in their defense is if they don't do that, and there really is like a tornado or, you know, something terrible would happen, then of course everybody'd be up in arms saying, why didn't you warn us? You should have told us this was coming.
Yep. They're playing the safeguard theory. Yeah, I can't, okay.
I mean, I understand it, but it was like, oh man, just.
Then the one guy on Channel 2, I don't want to embarrass him, but he made me laugh. He goes, and according to, well, I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. And I don't know if he was looking at his laptop and he couldn't read it. He was a little bit confused and he apologized. You know, they're all the meteorologists, they don't call them weathermen or weatherwomen, do they? They were all, you know, I think that was an emotional period. They wanted to get everything right.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them, but man, they were driving me crazy with the green zone, the yellow zone, the blue zone. And then I saw it approaching Washington, and I said, oh, no. So I sat on my porch for a while. The skies cleared and everything, and about a half hour later, man, it poured down for about 20 minutes, and then it was okay.
Well,
but nothing in the surrounding areas.
When I had 3 dumb bunnies outside.
Bunnies?
The cats, 3 dumb bunnies.
Oh, okay.
But when I got home, Linda had kept them in the house all day because of the threat of rain and storms in the afternoon. So as soon as I come in, man, they're making this mad dash for the door. And, you know, the sun was out. It was really, it felt warm. It was, you know, it was really nice. So I let them all out, and then, you know, all hell breaks loose for a little bit. They all came home. They're like bad pennies. They just keep turning up and turning up and turning up.
When I was sitting on the porch, I just noticed the deer. We got so many deer in the neighborhood because they have no place else to go. Washington Park now is becoming like an amusement park. They got rides there, basketball nets. They're building 2 more fields. So we're taking away the homeland from the deer so they come up the street to my neighborhood, you know, looking for food, doing their thing on my lawn, which I step on once in a while. But they were running around like crazies. The squirrels are running up. Everybody said, uh-oh, it's coming. Because, you know, if you see animals like that, you know something's going to happen. Nothing really happened until I went back in the house and it poured down. And about 20 minutes later, it was normal again. But it was a crazy night because you're almost helpless.
Our rule of thumb always was, when you don't hear the birds and there's nothing moving, that's when you need to really worry. because that means, they've sensed something and they're hunkered down somewhere. And when the sky turns that ugly yellowish green color.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was some pictures, I think, it's right near Butler. There was some trees falling down on cars, and one house was completely gone. So I guess there was some damage, not from a tornado as much as severe winds. So that's just as bad. So.
In St. Clairsville, a barn literally got lifted up and plunked down on a road. So they've got the road is blocked, but it got moved over to the road.
If severe weather, a tree drops down on your car in a driveway, or there's roof damage, is that covered by insurance, home insurance?
You got me.
Okay.
And I should know because a friend of mine had that happen. A tree fell on her car. And I know it, but I don't remember whether it was covered or not.
But it was a scary night.
It wasn't.
Yeah, because it was a scary night because, with Mother Nature, what are you going to do? You can't run away from an earthquake. Can you run from a tornado? Maybe, but I can't run. So, I wound up in Kansas. We got to take a break. We'll be right back right after this.
Little ditty about Jack and
The Watchdog is FM 98.1 W251CY, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7 W249DU, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Supreme Court says it will hear the case of the Texas abortion law, but for now won't intervene to block it.
The U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear arguments on the restrictive Texas abortion law November 1st. It is an accelerated timeline, but it does not, as the Biden administration had hoped, immediately halt the state's ban on abortions after 6 weeks before many women know they're pregnant. The Justice Department has said Texas paired an unconstitutional law with an unprecedented enforcement scheme designed to evade judicial review. The state has argued the federal government lacks the authority to challenge.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. COVID cases are on the decline. Vaccinations are ramping up with new booster shots green-lighted by the CDC. In a briefing today, White House COVID response coordinator Jeff Zients said the U.S. has enough COVID vaccines for the 120 million Americans who will become eligible for boosters in the coming months.
Thanks to the president's aggressive actions, we have ample supply of all three vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J. And we have a well-tested nationwide vaccine distribution and delivery system.
The CDC shows daily death averages are down 30% in the past 5 weeks, but still remain high. More than 1,200 Americans are still dying of COVID each day. The Justice Department will decide whether to prosecute Steve Bannon. That after 9 Republicans joined every single Democrat in the House, voting to hold Bannon in contempt of Congress after he refused to testify or hand over documents related to January 6th. ABC's Rachel Scott has more.
The fate of one of Donald Trump's closest allies now rests with the Justice Department. They will decide whether to prosecute Bannon. He could face up to a year behind bars if he is convicted.
Actor Alec Baldwin tweeting today saying he's heartbroken and cooperating with authorities. Authorities say the actor discharged a prop gun while filming a scene Thursday, killing the film's director of photography. You're listening to ABC News.
I need a laptop that helps me work remote from Charleston or Charlotte or wherever I am this week.
It's possible.
How about a PC that can manage my workload at a price I can manage?
Also possible, because Staples Connect has the innovative tech and tools you need to take on the future of work. And now get up to $200 off select laptops, like the HP Pavilion with Intel i7 processor. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 10/23, limit 2, in-store only.
If the Oral-B iO electric toothbrush had a theme song, this would be it.
I think you're gonna wanna see this.
Only IO combines Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head with gentle micro vibrations for a brushing experience even dentists have hailed as literally the best brush I've ever used. Get the wow of a professional clean feel every day with the IO from Oral-B, the #1 brand used by dentists.
You're gonna see what everybody's talking about.
Oral-B, brush like a pro.
The U.S. Embassy in Haiti is warning Americans there to remain vigilant and avoid unnecessary travel. This as authorities investigate threats from a Haitian gang leader who says he will kill 17 hostages, most of them Americans, if he doesn't receive $17 million. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the U.S. will continue to help Taiwan defend itself. That follows President Biden's pledge last night to protect the island nation if it comes under attack by China. China claims it still has authority over Taiwan.
Nobody wants to see cross-strait issues come to blows, and certainly not President Biden, and there's no reason that it should.
Secretary Austin making those comments at NATO headquarters today in Brussels. Britain's Queen Elizabeth is back at Buckingham Palace after spending a night in the hospital this week for tests. It's raising some concerns in the country.
She's said to be back at her desk carrying out light duties, but the monarch is 95, and she's had a pretty hectic schedule of late. Coupled with that, her medical advisors have recommended she forgoes her evening martini, and she started using a walking stick in public. In less than 2 weeks, she's due to host world leaders at the UN Climate Summit in Glasgow, so a bit of rest right now seems appropriate. Next year, she's due to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee, marking 70 years on the throne. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
This is ABC News.
At CDW, we get the path of progress is complicated, but CDW Amplified Services experts can collaborate with you, develop roadmaps, handle deployment, and manage your environment so you can achieve your goals faster than you thought possible. From implementing advanced cybersecurity techniques to optimizing your multi-cloud environment, we'll help you design, orchestrate, and manage the solutions your organization needs so we reach the finish line together, but you get all the glory. CDW Amplified Services, people who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/services.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
This is ONN. On the Ohio News Network, I'm Daniel Barnett. Ohio's unemployment rate is stuck in place even as jobs are plentiful. Karina Nova with affiliate station WBNS-TV in Columbus reports.
Last night, President Biden took a moment in his Baltimore CNN town hall to talk about the worker shortage across the country.
People are now using this as an opportunity to say, wait a minute, do I want to go back to that $7 an hour job? And so there's a lot of people who are just down. They're not sure how to get back in the game. They're not sure whether they want to get back in the game.
Ohio's unemployment rate still at 5.4%. That's the same rate as it was for August and July. I'm Karina Nova.
And a possible tornado took the roof off of a home in the Cleveland suburb of Wickliffe yesterday afternoon. Marissa Sines with affiliate station WKYC-TV in Cleveland has the details.
The Richards live less than 10 yards away from a home, now nearly unrecognizable.
I saw it right in front of my window with everything up inside of it, what looked like a tornado turning right in front of my window.
It got really, really dark. It got really, really loud. The homeowner here arriving to sights and sounds of cleanup, forced to stay elsewhere with family. All the chaos unfolding just before 5 Thursday. The big boom and bang heard blocks away. I'm Marissa Sines.
And I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
Stand by. You're back to live and local programming in moments on the Watchdog.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your football Friday. Mostly cloudy with occasional showers. The daytime high near 57. Mostly cloudy with a few showers remaining, with an overnight low of 46. Clouds and sunshine mixing for your Saturday, a cool day with a high near 57. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the outer limits.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, the Watchdog.
Tax the rich, feed the poor, tell there are no rich no more.
I like neighborhood rivalries. I got to witness a lot of great basketball rivalries with Pitt and West Virginia in basketball and football. You know, when I was in Boston, there was nothing like the Celtics coming to the Boston Garden to host the Los Angeles Lakers with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A lot of great rivalries. We got a good one here in Ohio State, you know, in Division I football, Ohio State and Michigan, Lola's Michigan Wolverines. But as far as Division II, none better than Wheeling versus West Liberty. Coach Bruni out of Wheeling, you having a good afternoon?
Yeah, we are. We're just getting prepared for practice here in the next hour.
I know you want to eliminate that 2-week, I guess you could say, nightmare, losing 2 in a row. You want to make it at least start another winning streak at 1. This is just not another game. It's a rivalry game, and I heard Coach Wiley mention it after I teased him a little bit about the game and the matchup. It's a rivalry game, so you can throw all the records out the window. That's pretty true, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe that. And, you know, anytime two teams that are close in proximity, and a lot of the players now that, you know, we've been around now as a program for the past 4 years, and you know, a lot of these guys know the guys on opposite sides, and, you know, we have some experienced players now. They, of course, have the same, and so we've gotten to play here, you know, in 19, and then, you know, lost our fall season in 20, but it's our second game with them now within the last, you know, 6 months. So playing your rival 2 times in football within 6 months rarely happens, but we're excited for it.
What's your overall record with them? I didn't ask Coach Wiley because I forgot.
That's 1-1.
1-1. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I see it in basketball. You know, West Lib and Wheeling U for a number of years was a great rivalry. I saw people scalping tickets at Wheeling and West Liberty for this game. I've seen long lines. It's a great rivalry in basketball. These guys, they know each other in the off season. They practice with each other in the off season. But when it comes game time, man, they put it all out. And I expect that from the Hilltoppers, and I certainly expect that from you. But, you know, I asked Coach Wiley, what's impressed you? And I knew what the answer was going to be. What has impressed you about their offense? And he talked about what I think is the best running back in the MEC, Cy Alley. 669 yards. Am I close there?
Yeah, I believe that's right around size total for the season. He's right around averaging over 100 yards per game. Yeah, he's been very consistent as a player for us. A lot of hard work, older guy. You know, didn't get that many opportunities to play this spring. Got a couple games, and then of course, you know, with the pandemic and things like that,
yeah.
he got put on the COVID list for a couple weeks, and he didn't get an opportunity to play against these guys in the spring. But Zai's a consistent performer for us. A very quiet, unassuming young man who leads by example and leads by the work that he does. And he's not very big. He's tall, lean kid. 6'1", 175, 80 pounds. But he plays like he's 200 pounds. And we're glad he's on our team. So yeah, he's been a consistent performer for us, and we're excited to see what he's able to do this Saturday, along with all the other guys offensively that are preparing hard this week.
Well, I know he has an exceptional speed. Maybe we should call him Speedy. But he reminds me a little bit of a Derrick Henry. Not, he's not as big as Derrick, who looks like a bulldozer, but he seems to pick his spots. He said, "Okay, I can go there, I can go there," and as soon as he does that, he's gone. That makes him a special guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, good running backs have great vision, and you can't really coach backs on where to run. It's more of a feel thing, and it's more of a consistent rep thing, with practices and over time. Backs develop consistency with how they run and where they run, but they also, it's based on predicated on good play with the offensive line. They have a good running back as well on their side of things, and he's a good, solid performer. They're missing, a really good player from a, all-conference type of player that got injured early in the year, but they're playing well offensively, and it's predicated on, being pretty balanced. Coach Walla does a great job with their offense, has for a lot of years, and they're consistent in what they do, but they're very balanced right now, which makes them hard to defend. So we're trying to be balanced, they're trying to be balanced, and I think that's the key to offensive football on both sides.
Talk about their D, would you please?
Yeah, I mean they have their defense has been a strength for them this season. They're not giving up over 20 points a game. They're under 20 points a game given up per game. They're one of the top teams in the conference from a statistical standpoint, yardage wise. They've created a lot of negative plays. They have guys that are leading the conference and close to at the top in the country right now with tackles for loss. So they get after you. Coach Monterosa's been there a long time. He's very consistent in what they've done and what they do. The guys know the schemes. And their front seven or front six are very good players. They're athletic, long. The backers are tough and quick, and they got some good players in the secondary. They're playing multiple guys in the secondary. They're playing guys at corner and safety. They're playing some young guys, but they're playing some guys that have experience, so they're deep. And they're playing really good ball. They've been consistently good all season on defense statistically, and you can see that on film. The buy-in is there, and they know what they're doing, so they're well coached.
What about was it freshman quarterback? He was named the MEC Offensive Player of the Week, or maybe that was last week.
No, that's Jamie Diven. He's a freshman on the field, kind of like our guy Brennan, but he's been there 3 years. So he's a redshirt freshman, and you get a red shirt, and then you had a COVID season that got played in the spring, and everybody got that season back eligibility-wise. So yeah, I mean he's a redshirt freshman, and but he's a third-year player. So he's been in their system, and he knows what they're doing, and he's been consistent. He's a good player. He was a good player in high school at South Fayette High School. Played for a really good high school coach and Coach Rossi over there, and he's a good player. He's very efficient. He's a good athlete. Gets the ball out of his hands. He's accurate, and he's got very nice touch on the deep ball. So he's giving them what they want and what they need from a quarterback standpoint, and being very consistent. And he had a big game last week when they needed it because they got in a little bit of a shootout with a very good offensive team in Fairmont, and they were able to put some points on the board and pull away late with some big defensive play.
Yeah. By the way, I just got a text from a friend of mine, the assistant AD at Washington High School. Another forfeit for Wash High. That's 4 forfeits this year. If I'm a coach there, man, I would be going crazy. I'd be going crazy. I could see one forfeit, one cancellation, but 4?
Yeah, that's tough. I actually had a conversation with Michael Brown, who's one of our guys, and I asked him about Wash High today because that's where he's from. He's an alum, and they're 5-0, but they've only got to play 5 games, and I knew they were getting towards the end of their season as the playoffs get ready to start here in Ohio and PA next week, and then in a couple weeks in West Virginia. But losing the ability to compete right now for young men, especially at that high school level, they've had a lot taken away from them. It's just sad to see that that's still happening pretty pretty often still throughout these last couple of seasons, and then also kind of in this tri-state area. But most teams are still getting opportunities to play, and hopefully most teams can make it through, power through, and especially the teams that got postseason aspirations coming up.
Hey, you want me to come up and talk to the president of both schools and come up with some kind of trophy or something? All these rivalries have something that they can celebrate with.
Yeah, I mean, if we can make this a trophy game at some point, that would be great. But that's way above my pay grade. So
we won't talk about your pay grade. All the hours you and all the coaches put in? No. Maybe you make $1 an hour. I don't know.
I don't want to make those decisions. But yeah, it's a great rivalry. Great for the area, great for the city, great for the county, and a lot of alums on both sides. Hopefully we'll be here, and the weather hopefully will cooperate with us tomorrow afternoon, and we'll have another good fall day to play a great football game.
Well, the concession stands, you better get ready because the whole town of West Liberty will be there. So we
welcome them with open arms. We hope to see them.
Yep, that'll be great. I'm not a numbers guy, so if I'm wrong, please let me know. I try and make just one error an hour, so my first hour was pretty good. Let's test my brain cells. Let's talk about these numbers. You're what? What are you in the conference? Because this is a big conference game for the winner, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're tied for third. It's kind of a logjam right now. I mean, there's 8 or 9 teams within 2 games of first place. There's a 3-way tie for first right now, I believe, amongst Notre Dame, Frostburg, Charleston. They each have one conference loss. Nobody in the conference is still undefeated, which tells you how balanced and
parity.
Good. Yeah, a lot of parity. West Liberty and a couple other schools have 2 losses in the conference at 4-2, and then we're 3-3 in the conference with a few other teams as well. So there's a lot of football still to be played these last 2 weeks, and hopefully we can stay in the mix. And I know everybody wants to try and stay in the mix to keep themselves towards the top of the conference and competing for championship.
So I'm figuring this out. I don't have to take my shoes off and count on my toes. If you beat West Lib, you'll both be 4-3, right?
Within the conference. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to play for, other than prestige, rivalry, all that stuff.
Yeah, you're giving yourselves a chance, and if you're playing meaningful games in late October and into November, then you're contending for something. And anytime you can contend for something later in the season, into October and into November, always starts with your conference championship. I think all coaches would say that. If you're playing in a good conference, which we are with 12 teams, and there's really good football top to bottom. Even the teams that might have a little bit of a struggle right now, win-loss wise, there's still everybody's capable of beating anybody in the conference any weekend. So you got to put your best foot forward and be ready to play each week.
I'm going to ask you the key to a win, and you might say no turnovers, no stupid penalties, whatever. But give me one big key to a W tomorrow at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, you hit the nail on the head with taking care of the football, and also taking care of the football and being smart and limiting your penalties. I think situational football always will dictate success for both teams. Playing good offense and defense on third down. Being able to get off the field on third down on defense, being able to move the chains and keep your drives going on third down. On offense, and then red zone. Your red zone production, how well you can play offense, how well you can play defense in the red zone, creating points when you've hit the red area. Whether that's field goals or touchdowns and extra points, and then also defense. Being able to play teams tough in the red zone and limiting opportunities and points. So situational football. Will play a big part in this game, just like it always is when 2 good teams get together. So you said it, and also special teams. Being able to win the special teams battle, taking care of the football, limiting your penalties, and being great in situational football usually predicates, the stats that really matter in a game of who wins and who loses.
Well, the last 48 hours, the weather's been really awful. What's the forecast for tomorrow? I didn't check it out because I'm just trying to get over the fact that all these tornado warnings in Ohio and Pennsylvania and West Virginia, I was scared.
Yep.
Do I go in the basement? Do I stay away from the windows? What's the weather supposed to be like tomorrow afternoon?
I believe it's just, I think, cool and cloudy. There's not supposed to be too much rain, but you never know this time of year. But I think it'll feel like a cool, crisp fall day and a good day to play some football.
Well, okay. It was great to hear Coach Wildeye talk about your running back because I think he is right now the best in the conference, and he's exciting to watch. Maybe if he can score a couple too, and maybe rush for 200-some yards, you might win that easily on offense, right?
Yeah.
You don't care as long as you
day.
win 7-3. You don't care as long as you win 7-3 or 7-6, right?
Just one more point than the opponent. That's all we care about, and just we're trying to be 1-0 tomorrow afternoon.
All right. I gave myself an assignment, right? Got to come up with some kind of trophy for this rivalry.
You got it.
All right.
You got it.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
That sounds like a great assignment for you. Take care of that for us.
I will, Coach. All right. Thank you, man. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Coach Bruni, from Martins Ferry. Dad was an excellent coach, a winning coach, and I think like did I have somebody on the air saying that kids are tough from Martins Ferry? Yeah. People are good too, character people. I know one, his name's DJ Abasella. He's on the bus, Gus, on his way to Fort Wayne as the Nailers open their regular season on the road against the champions of a year ago, okay? Then they come home, so I think they're going to have a good year. I think I've said that since I've been here, right? 2016 was a great year, was a good year. Lola, Michigan and Michigan State, when they played, did they play for a trophy? Because I know Minnesota Gophers play somebody for some kind of stupid little trophy.
You know what? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Well, Pitt doesn't really have a rivalry now. That West Virginia and Penn State's no longer on the schedule. West Virginia, though, will be visiting Pitt next year. That rivalry will continue. I think it's for another 3 more years. Now, they should be playing. They should be playing all the time. They should be playing twice. Pitt, West Virginia should be playing twice in basketball. Of course, you can't play twice in football. But, you know, every other year at Pitt, at West Virginia, it doesn't matter. You know, Morgantown, yeah, I like it that Pitt's playing there. That's one of the best venues in the world. What else you going to do in Morgantown? I mean, that's some great restaurants. What else you going to do in Morgantown on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday night? Play some football, go crazy at the stadium. All right? I got to think about a trophy. Might take me a year.
Somebody called and suggested a watchdog trophy.
The watchdog trophy. Would I have to pay for that?
I don't know.
Okay. Nah, I don't like that. That's too one-sided. I don't know. Got to be something with, well, the schools are what, 8 miles apart? 7? Whatever.
Well, you have, you know, already, I don't know what they're calling it, but you've got like the backyard brawl between Pitt and West Virginia, you know, things like that.
Yeah, can't steal that. Maybe
Well,
we
no,
can.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
you should, but, you know, a name along those lines.
Well, that's something for you listeners out there to call and tell me. Not today. Not today. Just down the road. You know, talk to your neighbors, talk to your thinking cap. Say, hey, what kind of trophy can we have? Because that would be cool. You know, winners and get a trophy for a year, and then the team that lost that year, maybe they can have it next year, and, you know, they can parade around a football stadium and have more fun. I don't know. It's just a crazy idea. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. But I'll talk to both presidents. You know, I got to know them very well, especially at Wheeling U. And I talk to the people at West Lib because I'm there a lot of times to watch their basketball team when they're not playing Wheeling. No, I don't scout. I just like it. It's a tremendous atmosphere at a West Liberty basketball game, a home court advantage. But yet I've seen Wheeling win at West Liberty, and I've seen West Liberty win it at Wheeling. So whatever. And I talked to Danny Sankum the other day, okay? He's got maybe the biggest game in Division II tomorrow. Cal U and Indiana. Ooh. I think both teams are undefeated, okay? And they play for some kind of trophy. Whatever. You got to have a trophy, right? Do they have trophies in high school in this area? Do you know, Lola? They play for a trophy? Like if Shady Side and Bel Air play for a trophy? I don't know.
Well, everybody's got something.
Yeah. But the best thing to have is a win. How's that sound, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Okay? We got baseball tonight, Major League Baseball, if you're not at the high school games. Well, you know what? When I miss baseball, I always watch MLB because they show the same highlights over and over again in case you missed it. And also, they replay the games. It's going to be do or die for the Red Sox. Yeah, I was feeling real good when they were hitting almost every baseball over Fenway Park's wall and everything. Grand slams, 2 grand slams in one game. But deep down inside, I said, this can't last a 7-game series. And Houston came up with great pitching in game number 5. And, the starter went 8 innings, so that means Dusty Baker's bullpen got a whole lot of rest. So Alex Cora will have something up his sleeves. And I think the Red Sox are going to win tonight, force a Game 7. Everybody, including the networks, would want to see a Game 7, Same with the Dodgers. They got to go back to Atlanta, and they feel comfortable there because they did last year when they eliminated the Braves. So, they got to play Game 6. If they win that forces a Game 7. And the Braves will be thinking, they probably thought, hey, we're up ahead 3-1. We got this made. And some guy named Chris Taylor hit not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs last night. I got to watch all of them with 1 minute. That's why I like some of these sports programs. If you miss something the night before, watch it the next morning, okay? Like the clips of the Cleveland Browns game. It was, from what I understand, a boring game, but I saw all the big plays in a span of 3 minutes. Now, if it was the National Hockey League, they're lucky at times to show 30-second clips. But now they're part of that ESPN umbrella, so you'll see a whole lot more hockey highlights. If somebody on the Detroit Red Wings records a hat trick, in the good old days, you wouldn't see any video. Now you would. Yeah. National Hockey League and that marriage with ESPN, it's a win-win-win. Because I've said it before, a bowling tournament would get better ratings than some of the games played in the National Hockey League. And it's all about ratings, because ratings includes, of course, advertising. Where would we be without advertising? I have no idea. But I'm glad the NHL is involved with ESPN, although I wish Mike Emmerich was behind the mic, because he was one of the best, okay? All right, we're going to take a break. Let me see who's next. Steve Hellwagon, Ohio State. Steve, Mr. Buckeye, coming up after the break on the Variety Show, your voice in the Ohio Valley.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Kelly Hudasek. A woman is dead following a head-on crash in Kanawha County this morning. Deputies say 61-year-old Barbara Facemeyer of Sissonville died after the sedan she was driving crossed the center line of U.S. Route 119 and struck a pickup truck head-on. It happened near Big Chimney just before 4:30. The truck driver was not injured. A dog in Facemeyer's car also died in the wreck. Governor Jim Justice plans today to address a request made by Maryland lawmakers for 3 of their western counties to join West Virginia. That includes Maryland's Allegheny, Garrett, and Washington counties. Mineral County Delegate Gary Howell says it would only make sense.
Those 3 western counties in Maryland are more like West Virginia than they are the remainder of Maryland. They fit very well in with us.
A special announcement is set for this hour. A newly proposed insurance plan from the State Public Employees Insurance Agency, or PEIA, carries with it no premium increases for the coming year, but West Virginia Education Association President Dale Lee says that could change in the future, and that's concerning.
Well, there's no premium increase, no changes in the plan for next fiscal year. However, we have grave concerns for the years after that.
The proposed plan would include a 5% premium increase for non-state employees. Public hearings on the plan are set for next month. You can read more at wvmetronews.com. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Tomorrow is National Drug Take-Back Day. That means residents will have the opportunity to turn in unused or expired prescription drugs at sites across the state, including Charleston. Lieutenant David Payne with Charleston Police says it's a safe and secure way to get rid of those medications.
Any unused prescription drugs that they're not using anymore or that's expired, they can just drop them off. They don't need to fill out anything. Just drop them in the box, and we'll just take it from there.
Collections will take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by The Score on The Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. 6 schools have accepted invitations to join the American Athletic Conference, the league announced yesterday. Those included Florida Atlantic, Charlotte, North Texas, UTSA, Rice, and UAB. Decisions that do expect other conferences to start to realign and reconsider. In the Major League Baseball playoffs yesterday, it was all Dodgers. Chris Taylor, big night for him. He had 4 hits, 3 home runs, leading the Dodgers to an 11-2 victory over the Braves. 17 hits for the Dodgers. Atlanta still leads the series 3-2. It heads back to Atlanta. Game 6 is tomorrow. Tonight, it's game number 6 of the ALCS. The Red Sox need a win over the Astros to extend the series. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by the Score on the Watchdog.
With just one spray of Microban 24, your hard surfaces are sanitized for up to 24 hours. Touch after touch after touch.
So 6 hours from now?
Still sanitized.
12 hours?
Yep.
18 hours.
We're really doing this.
24 hours.
When used as directed, one spray of Microban keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria touch after touch for, up to 24 hours.
Wow.
Microban 24. The sanitizer 4 out of 5 doctors would use in their own homes. So why aren't you?
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey man, what can I get you?
Yeah, can I have 2 Coors Lights?
You got it.
Hey, Mike! I need 2 Coors Lights! Sure thing.
With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice-cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together, we will get through this.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Hey, it's Howard Monroe. Have yourself a great weekend this weekend. Do something fun and enjoyable for yourself. And if you want to follow what I'm thinking on the weekend, you can always check out my Facebook page or my Twitter page. I sometimes pop up with little polls or occasionally some thoughts of my own there. Give you kind of a clue of what we'll talk about when we get together Monday morning. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning, 7 o'clock, the Watchdog Morning Show, right here.
Through the mirror of my mind, time after time, I see a reflection of you and me.
Okay, we've been at West Liberty, we've been at Wheeling University, Wheeling Central, Bel Air, Ohio. We're going to go back to Ohio. Maybe he's not in Ohio. Maybe he's on his way to Indiana. I don't know, so let's ask Mr. Buckeye, Steve Hellwagon. Where are you, Steve?
I am in my home in suburban Columbus. With it being a night game tomorrow and only 4 hours over to Indiana, we are going to leisurely make our way over there to the Hoosier State beginning tomorrow morning. So, yes, saving a night in the hotel.
All right. You got to make sure those Buckeyes don't look ahead to next week when they play Penn State, right?
That's right. And Ohio State's coming off an open week where you would think for 2 weeks they've been drilling on Indiana, that it's in their heads that that's who they're playing this week. You got to win this week's game, or next week's game doesn't mean all that much. So that's probably the mindset right now.
All right. That's at the Horseshoe, right, Penn State?
Yes, next week we'll be at home. Tomorrow, Ohio State at Indiana. Both games this week and next week are night games for Ohio State fans, 7:30 p.m. road game Saturday, and then the following Saturday back home with Penn State.
The folks at Pitt will be watching Penn State because I don't know who starts these things. Maybe I did. I don't know. But if Penn State can win 2 of their next 3 or whatever, and Pitt keeps rolling along, tomorrow's a big game for Pitt and their quarterback, who I think should be a Heisman Trophy, at least in the talk. 21 touchdowns, only 1 interception. I think he's got an arm like Danny Marino, but, you know, he wasn't one of those I hate preseason Heisman Trophy candidates. Why do they do that? Why don't they wait till like 5 or 6 weeks of the regular season and talk about the Heisman Trophy?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know?
Spencer Rattler is the poster child for that, the quarterback at Oklahoma, who's now been benched.
Yeah.
He was the preseason favorite to win it. I was skeptical all along because I didn't think he'd shown that much last year, and I didn't know, what their team was going to really be like. And they did struggle in the first few weeks, but now they found a quarterback with Caleb Williams, and looks like he's going to be the guy the rest of the way there at Oklahoma. But yeah, you're right. It's just like everything involving college football. Everything seems to be predetermined before the season, that we should just skip right to the awards and the playoff. I mean, if we'd done that, it would have been Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and whoever. Georgia, is the top 4. Well, as it turns out, Clemson, the only way they're going to get to the playoffs if they buy a ticket. So
yeah. And then there's Iowa. They got all cocky because we beat Penn State at home. Yeah, you beat them because, Penn State lost their quarterback. I think it would have been a different story. But whatever, that's ifs, ands, and buts, and you know what you do that. And then they get beat the following week,
Yeah.
They didn't look
Purdue
like the
did a
same
number
Iowa
on
team
them.
that beat Penn State. I don't know what happened to that defense, but whatever.
Yeah, Purdue went in there. Their quarterback threw for 375 yards against that great Iowa defense. That was a bit of a shocker last week. And really, Iowa's offense generated nothing, 1 touchdown. And, you're not going to beat anybody with that. So, that was kind of disturbing. Really throws the West Division in the Big Ten wide open with that result.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you about Indiana. At Indiana, where sometimes they play great football and sometimes they don't. The Hoosiers always seem to be competitive. Could this be a trap game?
There's no doubt, Bill, this could be a trap game. And Indiana, before the season, was picked 17th nationally in that range, and coming off a 6-2 season last year, and we're right there with Ohio State in the East last year, finished right behind the Buckeyes, and they beat Michigan State, and Penn State. For the first time in a long time in a lot of those instances, and certainly first time in the same season to beat those other 3 in the division. So they bypassed them, but they've kind of fallen back down to their normal place in the world this year. 2-4 going into this game, and the quarterback Penix was injured in the Penn State game and didn't play, and so we're not sure if he's going to be back for this game tomorrow or not. But dangerous team at home, and they played much better last week. Lost to Michigan State 20-15 at home last week, and their defense played outstanding in that game. It's just, again, same case as Iowa, can't generate any points.
Yeah, well, you can't look ahead, and I'm sure the coaching staff at Ohio State, they're thinking, hey, come on, guys, we've had a lot of time to work. We'll worry about Penn State later because, as soon as I saw the schedule, I said, that could be a trap game. I thought Maryland would be one, but no, I'm familiar with Indiana. It seems like every year they come up with one big surprise, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. And obviously, they'd love to spring it on Ohio State. They've got to go 4-2 the rest of the way to qualify for a bowl game. And it doesn't matter which 4 games they are. So if it's Ohio State or Purdue at the end or whoever in between, they've got to generate something here in the second half, or it's really going to be a sad year for them. Coming off, what they thought was a year that was going to transform their program into being a contender on an annual basis in this East Division. But the normal course of human events has taken over for them, and they're back where they started. But, maybe they can write a different story tomorrow. You look at it, Ohio State, coming off the open week, had played great football the 2 weeks prior to that against Rutgers, went on the road, won 52-13, and then just decimated Maryland. I think it was 66-17 or something like that, whatever the final score was in that game. I don't have it right off the top of my head, but just played lights out in those 2 games. Offense and defense played great complementary football. So you hope, if you're an Ohio State person, that they don't take a step back coming off of an open week and that they continue to progress and get better. And that's what you want to see, because this next stretch after this, 5 games in the regular season, possibly the championship game in the week after that, they could play as many as it would be 5 ranked teams in 6 weeks potentially if Purdue is still ranked later on. So
wow, I didn't know that. You just told me that. Yeah, I see Michigan State at Michigan. Wow, yeah, Penn State.
Yeah, it's quite a gauntlet here down the stretch if things hold as they are right now.
Well, a lot of people, including some idiot named Bill DeFabio, had them going unbeaten. So.
No. Well, that's obviously not going to happen. Oregon ruined that a few weeks ago, but...
And look what happened to Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon, they haven't played good football here the last few weeks. They were barely able to beat Cal people who stayed up late last Friday got to see a down-to-the-wire game. Oregon and Cal at 2 in the morning Eastern time. Cal, finally, the flame extinguished at the 2-yard line as time expired, so... They lost by 7 to Oregon. So Oregon needs to get it together. They're going to be threatened in the Pac-12.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen a lot of good defenses in the last 20, 30 years, but that Georgia defense might have to be at least in the top 2 or 3. Yeah,
they're elite. There's no doubt about it. And they are doing some things and holding people to yardage and point totals that are just, amazing at this level. But the quality of the teams that they're playing can't generate anything better than that. I mean, Arkansas was 4-0 when they went in there, and they got blanked. I think it was 37-0. It was ugly. So, it's just an example. And Arkansas has come back after that and won a couple good games. So they're a quality team. It's just, you look at it, Georgia is just outstanding right now.
Well, I teased you before I put you on the air about something, so I know you're kind of like the expert with Ohio State, but you know your college football, okay? We have a rivalry here that started a few years ago, West Liberty and Wheeling University. I wanted to come up with some kind of trophy that the guys can play for. You're familiar with some college football teams and rivalries, aren't you? Minnesota plays for some kind of trophy, don't they?
Yeah, Minnesota is involved in several of them. I think they may have the Floyd of Rosedale, which is a pig, between them and Iowa that they play for. Some type of a pig trophy, yes. They and Michigan play for Paul Bunyan's axe as well. So that's
you mean the winning team gets to carry an axe around the field?
Yes.
That could be dangerous.
Yes, there was a few years ago when Minnesota beat Michigan, and the players, when the game ended, didn't bother shaking hands with the Michigan players. They ran to the Michigan sideline where the equipment manager had the box with the Paul Bunyan axe in it, and they went and secured possession of that axe. That was the thing that was driving them. Okay, we beat you, fine. Where's our axe? Was kind of the thought. But Ohio State's got one. They play Illinois now. It's sporadic anymore that they get to play Illinois because they're in a different division and they don't play on an annual basis. It's not a protected rivalry. I think the Big Ten only has one. I think Indiana and Purdue will always play the last game of the season crossover, but there are no other protected crossovers in the Big Ten. And so they used to play every year. They played every year from 1913 until 2005, and then it got, discontinued with scheduling or whatever. But they play for the Illabuck, which it started out as a live turtle that a fraternity in Ohio State came up with to have this rivalry with their fellow fraternity in Illinois. And eventually the turtle passed away, and somebody carved out a wooden turtle, and that's what it has become since then. It's a really neat wooden turtle trophy that goes back and forth. Well, I say it goes back and forth. I think Illinois, the only time they've beaten them in this 2000s was when Ohio State was undefeated in 2007. I think that Ohio State was number one in the country, and Illinois came in and beat them. And one of the poignant moments a few years ago, J.T. Barrett, one of the most decorated players, Big Ten and Ohio State history, quarterback, his last game at Ohio Stadium was against Illinois. It was pouring down rain. They won the game 55-20 or something like that, and they were singing the alma mater, and he is standing there in the pouring down rain holding the turtle. And that, if that doesn't get you in the feels, I don't know what would, because that was just a great moment and showed, what it meant, to win that game. So, yeah, there's some good ones and some bad ones out there, certainly. But the wooden turtle, to me, with Ohio State, it's the only one that they play for. Oh, they in Michigan do not have one. They just have the rivalry. There's no trophy that goes with it. As one of the coaches once said, the only trophy that needs to go with that is the Big Ten championship trophy. So typically they decide it between themselves. So there you go.
All right, I'll put my thinking cap on, and I'm sure the listeners will have something to lend me an ear and whatever. I'm thinking, let's get it sponsored. Something like Mountain Dew or something,
Yeah, the U.S. 40 trophy. I don't know. Where are they located?
The U.S. 40 trophy.
Is there a road that runs between them or I-70? I don't know what it would be. But, I don't know.
Well, in any of those, we can just have a great big picture of a pothole, because there's so many.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I put my thinking cap on, and I know a lot of the listeners and people around both campuses maybe will be thinking about it because I think it's something worthwhile. Hey, thank you, man. Good luck, and we'll talk next week with Penn State and Ohio State at Buckeye Stadium, okay?
Yep, should be a big one.
All right, thank you, man.
Yep, take care.
Paul Bunyan, pig. That's college sports is fun, yeah. All right, we're going to take a real short break, and I think Kyle Wiggs is in the grocery store. I'll give him a shopping list. And it's an expensive one because everything is expensive at the grocery store. We'll be right back. The Watchdog. We are the voice of the Ohio Valley.
Hi, Toppy Kirchville. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock for Talkline. We'll talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia, top political figures, sports personalities, sometimes just plain folks offering their opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard.
You want sports talk? We got the goods all night long. Tune into Sports Map Radio, evenings and overnights on FM 98.1, AM 1600. We are the Watchdog. For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and let live. If this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in and cry, say live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die.
Well, I'm going to break a story, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be a new James Bond. Here's my pick. Kyle Wiggs.
I'm too old.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. I didn't want to say that.
10 years ago, maybe.
You're in the checkout line. Do you self-check, or you have somebody there checking you out? Because I don't
No.
like self-check. I want a human being to keep their job, you know?
Yeah, I'm in the line with the people.
All right. Hey, I know I went grocery shopping the other day because I'm the only one that will do it because I have some time in the evening or whatever. I can't believe the price of almost everything has gone up, even Spam. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Prices are going up. Dairy products, steaks.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, everything's going up. You're right.
Well, for 3 weeks in a row, I've always gone on the air and said, well, the Mountaineers got to win this one. They got to win this one. They got to win this one. So I'm saying I don't know if West Virginia can win at TCU. Am I half right, half wrong, or just crazy?
Well, I think they can, but you just don't know which team's going to show up.
That's it, yeah.
If it's the team that should have won at Oklahoma, then they should win at TCU. If it's the team that pulled a no-show against Baylor, then you're not going to beat anybody. So, again, if you can tell me which team's going to show up, I can give you a little bit of a better prediction.
All right.
But
say the real Mountaineer team shows up. The one, could have won, should have won a couple big games. What will they face at TCU?
Well, they'll face a TCU team that played Oklahoma last week, so they had a very difficult, kind of a brutal game, which bodes well for West Virginia. And they'll face a TCU team that's really banged up. They've got all four of their defensive backs have been injured at various points. They got a starting linebacker who's injured. So injuries have really, really taken a pretty significant toll on TCU. So, that's really kind of the story of this game.
Okay. And then you have two at home, Iowa State and Oklahoma State. Then you go to Kansas State, and then the big one, Texas at home. Texas. Go ahead.
If West Virginia's going to get to a bowl, they have. This is a must-win game. Win this game. Hopefully, you split the next two. Kansas is down the line, and you've got Kansas State and Texas. So, this is an absolutely must-win if you think you're going to play a 13th game and get to a bowl.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe if Pitt can lose a couple more games, we can have Pitt and West Virginia in a bowl. How about that?
We'd take that.
Oh, I would take that. Well, there's talk that if Pitt continues to do well, and this is a big game with Clemson, and there's that Heisman Trophy hype for their quarterback Pickett, 21 touchdowns, only one interception. But, I was just talking to Steve Hellwagon of Ohio State. I don't like these Heisman Trophy names that come up before the start of the season. Take Oklahoma. Wasn't that guy supposed to be the Heisman Trophy? And he's not even playing.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler got benched for the freshman.
Yeah, let's have the Heisman Trophy hype like 5 weeks into the season.
Yeah, and it should be the same way with polls, too. There shouldn't be any polls until teams play 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, so, this is a big one at TCU, and I've said it for, last couple of weeks. They need a win badly. So, you say TCU's a little bit banged up?
TCU's a lot banged up.
Yeah. I don't want anything bad to happen, but better them than us, right?
That's true.
Okay. All right. Are you still shopping, or are you out of the grocery store?
Nope, I'm bagging my groceries.
Okay. All right. What's the price of beef? Well, you don't eat beef. You're not a vegan, are you?
No, but I just paid $10 for 4 pork chops. That was I paid $8 for uncured bacon.
Wow. How about the price of wings? When I grew up on a farm and I would help my parents, slice and dice the chicken, the first thing we threw away was the wings.
Yeah.
Now they're as big as your thumb, and they're like $1.10 each. I don't know. I have no. What's the price of gas down Morgantown?
$3.29.
Okay. All right. Hey, thank you, man. We'll talk next week. You got Iowa State at home, all right, but maybe you got to take one on the road and finally win a game in Texas, right?
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not sure, but I think he does the cooking, too. He's just an all-around guy. Yeah. I can't remember where I met him. Oh, years ago when I worked at Pitt Radio Network. We had a problem with an engineer. He didn't bring some equipment or something, and Cal Wiggs was kind enough, and his engineer, WA, JR, which at that one time was my client for Steeler Network, loaned us some cords and stuff, and we got on the air. We found out we had problems like 3 hours before the game started between Pitt and West Virginia, and Kyle was there, didn't know him. Now I know him, and then I found out that he was the guy that used to take my Steeler reports early in the morning on WAJR, whatever. Good contact, good guy. But he does all the shopping. I think he does the cooking, too. $10 for pork chops? Is that a lot of money, Lola?
That's what I paid the other day.
Okay. You grill them or broil them?
Usually I grill them, but last night I pan fried them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a pork chop guy. Yeah. All right. We got to see who's coming up. Oh, we're going to Steubenville. Man, we can't get out of Ohio, can we? Or West Virginia. Reno is coming up. Big game for Reno. They're all big now. Because, it's all about points and wins and all that. Maybe he needs some help like Coach Young from other teams and other coaches. This is the prime time of high school football coverage, okay? Who's going where? Who's going to be on the outside looking in? Who needs help from the other guy? That's why it's great. High school football, college football. The pros, I can take it or leave it, whatever. Reno coming up at the top of the hour. We're going to take a break. We are the Watchdog. Football Friday. What's the matter, Lola? I'm too early? No. Okay. We'll be right back. We are the voice of the Ohio Valley, especially when it comes to coverage of sports.
When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and let live. You know you did, you know you did, you know you did. But if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in and cry, say live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let
FM 98.1, AM 1600, WKKX, Wheeling.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The nation's highest court says it will take up the Texas abortion law.
Siding with abortion providers and civil rights groups, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear arguments before lower courts even rule. The outcome could definitively resolve the fate of the law, which bans abortions in Texas after 6 weeks and relinquishes enforcement to private citizens. The court declined, though, to impose a stay, meaning the law remains in effect until the court issues a decision, which could take months. Justice Sotomayor said in dissent about that, for the second time, the court declines to act immediately to protect these women from grave and irreparable harm. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
It's full court press Friday for the president's human infrastructure proposal. Vice President Kamala Harris in New York City today at a YMCA in the Bronx. She says Americans need programs to reflect their needs.
We have within our grasp an opportunity to finish what we started with the American Rescue Plan.
On Capitol Hill, Speaker Nancy Pelosi signaled progressive and moderate Democrats could be close to a deal over the price tag. Representative Sheila Jackson, though, says there still might be a need to eliminate the Senate filibuster if there are any more hurdles.
Let's get rid of the filibuster, and I also think we should get rid of it if it interferes with us moving on the Build Back Better. We need to do that.
Moderate Democrats say they won't support the $3.5 trillion tab. The rain just keeps falling in Northern California and the Pacific Northwest as a rare bomb cyclone moves in.
We haven't seen this here in the West in a very long time. The rain and snow are so welcome, nobody's complaining, but it could cause problems. The biggest of the rainstorms and the fire hose of moisture moving in will likely be Sunday into Monday for Northern California up through Washington State. Up to 6 inches of rain, 3 feet of snow in the mountains. It could bring heavy wind. But most folks here in the West are just so glad to not have the wildfire risk.
ABC's Alex Stone in Los Angeles. You're listening to ABC News.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
More questions following FBI confirmation that human remains found in a Florida nature preserve belong to Brian Laundrie, boyfriend and fiancé of Gabby Petito, who was murdered in Wyoming.
Investigators have not said whether a weapon was found along with Laundrie's backpack, notebook, and remains. Attorney Steve Bertolino says Laundrie's parents hope to learn more from the medical examiner about how their son died.
If they can come up with some other explanation for the cause of death, we're going to accept that.
And if Brian Laundrie's death is ruled a suicide,
I guess we're going to have to accept that Brian did kill himself.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Israel says it should be finalizing a decision to reopen its borders next week. More from ABC's Jordana Miller in Jerusalem.
After shutting its borders 18 months ago due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Israel now set to welcome vaccinated tourists starting November 1st, right in time for the Christmas holiday season. Tourists will have to show proof of COVID-19 recovery or full vaccination in the last 6 months, that is, after June 1st. A booster shot if vaccinated before then. That's 1 or 2 or 3 shots depending on the vaccine. Israel accepting all of them except Russia's Sputnik.
Actor Peter Scolari has died of cancer. Scolari co-starred with Tom Hanks, you might remember, in the hit TV comedy Bosom Buddies. His long career included an Emmy-winning role in HBO's Girls and a recent part in the CBS supernatural drama Evil. Scolari was 66. This is ABC News.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
The boss of a notorious Haitian gang accused of kidnapping 17 members of a missionary group based in Millersburg in northeast Ohio is warning that the hostages will be killed if his demands aren't met. Karina Nova with affiliate station WBNS-TV in Columbus has more.
Gang leader Wilson Joseph delivered the death threat in a video posted on social media yesterday. He also threatens Prime Minister Ariel Henry and the chief of Haiti's National Police while speaking in front of coffins holding several members of his gang who were recently killed. Authorities have said the gang is demanding $17 million for those kidnapped Saturday. The group includes 5 children among the 16 Americans who were taken along with their Haitian driver during a visit to an orphanage. Karina Nova, ONN News.
And Governor Mike DeWine says the state has already received more than 100,000 coronavirus vaccines for kids ages 5 to 11, with the final go-ahead pending from the federal government. ONN's Dave James reports.
The governor says more vaccines are coming and will likely be administered starting in early November.
We have been allotted for the dosage for 5 to 11-year-olds, 347,000 doses in that first week.
DeWine says the state health department and children's hospital leaders in Ohio will be holding multiple press conferences in the coming weeks, encouraging people to get their kids vaccinated. Dave James, ONN News.
And I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
Live and local talk is just around the corner. Stay right here on the Watchdog.
$3.5 trillion. That's the cost of the reckless spending plan President Biden and the Washington extremists are rushing through Congress. Their socialist plan will bankrupt America and force West Virginia taxpayers to foot the bill for abortions, even painful late-term abortions. Thankfully, Senator Joe Manchin is standing strong, opposing this reckless spending spree and taxpayer-funded abortions. But Senator Manchin is under enormous pressure from Washington liberals to cave to their extreme agenda. Biden and Pelosi are intent on forcing West Virginians to pay for abortion on demand, even up to the moment of birth when babies can feel excruciating pain. West Virginians need to thank Manchin for standing strong. Call Senator Joe Manchin at 202-224-3954. Thank Manchin for opposing Biden and the socialists in Congress. Tell him to stand strong against their plan to bankrupt America and force West Virginians to pay for abortions. Paid for by Susan B. Anthony List.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey! Hey, buddy! Yeah? You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure. I mean, you being a mountain climber and all,
Yep.
you probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your football Friday. Mostly cloudy with occasional showers. The daytime high near 57. Mostly cloudy with a few showers remaining, with an overnight low of 46. Clouds and sunshine mixing for your Saturday, a cool day with a high near 57. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
Uh-oh, I made a boo-boo. Reno last week said, I don't like that song. I didn't make a note to eliminate that song. Reno, I'm sorry. I won't play that again when you're on the airway, okay?
You play whatever you want. I can put up with anything.
Yeah, I thought you said that was disgusting.
It was, but I could put up with anything.
How about if I play a Dean Martin song for you?
That'd be okay.
You have a favorite song? Whatever song you pick, as long as there's no dirty words